packing up the tent, and you guessed it, it's raining again. Happy days, one wet tent. Never mind. Well, that's where I've just come from. You can see the peaks up there, the camp below. Got absolutely drenched packing the tent. The timing of this weather is impeccable. Caught me when I was putting it up, and it's caught me when I've taken it down. But there is the view ahead of me, and the weather over there looks considerably better. So we'll see what today brings. So the two peaks on the hill over there are where I come from this morning. That's where I camped, below those two. So you can see it was the village or the town in the bottom there is Okehampton or Okehampton, however it's pronounced. So I dropped down into there this morning, treated myself to a full English, and now I'm up to find the Tarka trail. I did miss the turn off for this, I'm not sure how, because it was well marked. But this is slightly confusing in that
resuming.
You can see there, public footpath Tarka trail that way, but although it's not signed, my route is carrying on up the hill that way. So yeah, just to give a bearing of where I am this morning. Still looks rather grey up there. Yeah, I'm pleased I'm down here in the sunshine. Right, so I just stopped to take a picture of the bike there. I'm going to post that on my Facebook page, the Brompton touring group. If you're not aware, that's the page that I started. If you're interested in Brompton's touring or touring bikes in general, and that could be a good Facebook page for you. But yeah, I stopped to take a photo there, and I was about to get back on the bike, and then it just hit me. The silence and the bird sound, and just how beautiful a little spot this is. A spot I'll probably never visit again, but it is just beautiful. It's moments like this you realise how good it is to be alive. Another one of those views back to where I started this morning, on the top of the hill there. And here's my road. Yes, it is raining again. Been pretty much like this all the way today. These small single track roads, vast majority of the way. Very little traffic. One thing I will say that has surprised me these last 2 days in particular is I don't think I've seen another cyclist. I don't think I've seen another person cycling on the actual trails at all, and certainly not this morning, which does surprise me a little. But there we go. There's more blue sky than grey. Just crack on. Atherley, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Some very interesting old architecture in the town square here. Lovely. So this is what happens when you don't pack things properly on the bike, rather. Some things strapped on the back of the bike because they were wet, hoping that they might dry out. I don't know if you can see that on the road up ahead there, the black bit to the right as you're looking. I'm hoping that's my bike bag. Looks like it. I don't remember passing anything there as I came off the path. So we'll soon see. Beautiful now. Been some quite spectacular skies today, I will say. And that indeed is my bike bag. I might need that later. Used it last night when the Brompton was out. And the bike is back down there at the bottom of the dip. Good to stretch my legs for a while. Looks like I might be pushing up the other side of the hill there. Looks a good hill that. See how we go. Village of Sheepwash. Very pretty it is too. And some interesting architecture. Very interesting architecture if it's open. I started seeing signs for cycle route 3 and not 27 and started doubting whether I'd gone in the right direction. But this is just, what's the word? Anyway, yeah, I feel better now. The Tarka trail finishes here. So I'm about to join the Tarka trail. Happy days. Petroxstowe car park, and I've got 22 miles into Barnstable. As I say, not sure where I'm going to go today. May well come off the trail and find a campsite somewhere. We'll see how we go. Okay, so it's pretty windy, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Just made myself a coffee and had a couple of biscuits. I was going to go and search for somewhere to eat. You can see the tent set up there on this campsite. Right, so I think it's pretty obvious at this point that I'm having some problems with the audio on this. Basically, I was sort of trying to show you around the campsite a little bit and some of the people on there and the situation of the campsite. Great little campsite right at the side of the trail, as you'll have seen as I turned onto it. Just stumbled across it and thought, why not? Seemed as good a time as any to stop. Just literally 2 or 3 miles outside of Barnstable. So perfect for completing the last day tomorrow. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. The main thing to mention about this site is on site, or at the back of the site, which was a massive bonus for me, is a little microbrewery with a very eccentric chap there running it, and I had a lovely night in there, some of which you'll see shortly. So hopefully that's of use to you. Anyway, so just to explain what's happening here, and that I did have those audio problems. Now, it doesn't look a lot. Pizza oven, it's like fresh pizzas. I might even get a breakfast out of them.
Wet in it, my friends do. Well, I don't care about the fact that it's wet in it. It's like 40 years of. Anyway, and even then it's inexplicable because I said to you earlier, it matures. So I suppose the cheeky answer yet again is, well, you can get. Well, I'll wait for the cheeky one for about 2 minutes. I bet you can't wait. The brewing bit and the mashing, right, is all done up there. The cooking bit, which takes 8 hours, all the steamy boiling thing, right? We're adding stuff and weird things and stirring cold.
That's when it smells a bit.
Yeah, that's it. It smells a bit, yeah, like ninging. You know.
You have the demijohn in the area.
That's, you got it, yeah. Discovery. Right, that takes 8 hours to boil it all up.
Yeah.
Then it gets all chucked in there.
Yeah.
And it ferments ferociously for about 5 days. Right, you could technically put it in the barrels, but the barrels would explode because it's creating a hell of a lot of carbon dioxide. So we all, well, especially me. Right, it's a beer talking. And after 5 days, you get a pipe from that hole there, called a tap, 4-seat cock, and put it into a barrel, several barrels. The 20, you get 20 out of one of them.
20
right. And then wait for about 4 or 5 weeks for it to semi-mature, where in my case it was only here in about 3 hours. Open it up and wonder why it's so unbelievably under-matured and sickly sweet. Then really wake up, drink tons and tons of it, you think the next pint's going to be better. Wake up with a severe hangover, being really depressed, thinking the whole batch is gone. It's unhuman. They're not knowing that 5 weeks later it's stunning.
Well, good morning campers. Here we are, back to wind and rain. So I'm going to hunker back down for a little longer this morning and see what happens. Not sure what the forecast is yet, haven't had a look. I think it was for showers, but not too certain. So yeah, day 4, wind and rain. Okay, so it looks like the rain's setting until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. As you can quite clearly see here from this screenshot from the BBC weather forecast. So you've got to be flexible on these things. So what I'm going to do is, it's sort of 8 o'clock now. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, a little bit of breakfast, and then I'm going to set off and leave the gear here. So I'm going to cycle, finish the coast to coast, and then just spend the rest of the day exploring the area, just with the bike, but without the gear on board. Make life a little bit easier, a little bit more fun to ride the bike that way. So yeah, that's the plan. I just need to check with the campsite that's going to be okay to stay here. Pretty sure it should be. Yeah, go and enjoy the day. Come back here and visit Lawrence, the friendly barman, again, and his little microbrewery there. It's quite an attraction and quite a draw to come back to. Yeah, this, by the way, is the Tarka Trail camping near Yelland. Very nice. A little bit of a different view this morning, but here goes. Looking forward to the day. little bit breezy. You might pick that up on this little video. Okay, so down there is Brompton, and you can probably make out the estuary there. So that's where I've come up from. I'm going to say it's probably the worst hill I've encountered, and it's I don't know, 4 or 5 miles from Illfracombe. It looks like I'm almost at the top, but that may well be a false horizon. Find out shortly. But yeah, hills have definitely been a feature of this ride. I'll talk about that more in a little or later. It might be wet, it might be windy, and it might be hard work getting here, but it's worth it. Boy, is it exhilarating. This is the point where you finish on the road and rejoin or join what was the old railway between Barnstable and Illfracombe. And so from here to Illfracombe, it's off road again on the trail. It's a very good trail. Yeah, and this way I'm going downhill, which is fantastic. Illfracombe 1 mile. It's nearly over, guys.
Resuming.
And there it is. Right, so here we go then, the final ride down into Illfracombe. It's been an epic few days, really enjoyed it. The 2 wild camps in particular, for very different reasons. The first one up over Burrator there was a beautiful spot with a beautiful view, and the weather was beautiful. So 3 beautifuls. What's the fault with that one? The second one was very different, more what you might expect, I guess, from Dartmoor, in that the weather was pretty wet and windy, a little bit rough up there, but enjoyed the challenge of that in many ways. And then that strange noise in the night that woke me up, that's certainly one I won't forget in a hurry. Love to come back and do more of Dartmoor. That's the one. Don't want to do Broadmoor. For those that don't know, it's a pretty nasty prison. No, I don't want to do Broadmoor. Definitely Dartmoor. Anyway, yeah, few stats on that then. I did 112 miles, just a little bit over the normal route there with the little detours I took, which is 180 kilometres, 6,300 feet of climbing, which is 1,920 metres. Found it a little bit harder than I expected. I think that was more down to my fitness than the route. The trails are great and relatively easy to follow. It would have been difficult to get lost, I think, for anybody that's thinking of doing this. A little bit surprised that I didn't see more people doing it. I know it's a popular route. The weather wasn't great, obviously, and so that probably contributed to the number of people that were out and about. But yeah, it's a great route, thoroughly recommend it. And Illfracombe is a great spot to either start or finish your ride. As you can see now, as I'm just coming to the harbour, I will be dipping my wheel in the sea in the traditional way, just to mark the end of it. And there is the Statue of Verity at the end here that's just be coming into sight now, which is a fantastic landmark to end on. I did shoot some film at this point, but the sound quality on several bits that I've tried to record on, particularly on this last day or two, was terrible. I'm not sure what was wrong, but there's something wrong either with the setup or the equipment. So that didn't come out, so that's the reason for this little voiceover now. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the journey. If you've watched all 3 videos, thank you very much for coming along with us. Hope you've enjoyed them, and hope you come with me on the next adventure. Thanks again, and bye for now.